Good morning, dear students. Today our discussing topic is critical speed or whirling speed of a shaft. Critical speed or whirling speed of a shaft. So just all of you observe the diagrams. So figure A will represent the when the shaft is in stationary mode. So the shaft is carrying to the rotor at the mid of the session. At the mid of the session, rotor will be arranged. Okay, rotor has been arranging here. So now when the shaft is in going to when the shaft is going to rotating, so then how to how to displace it the our shaft, from the axis of the from the axis of the shaft. So they were they will represented here. So in this, uh, first we will know that what is mean by critical speed or whirling speed. So just all of you observe that diagrams, that is the rotor is there and the shaft axis they may also representing here, and you will see the our notations. So that is the E is there, small e, and Y is there. Okay, small e will represents the center of gravity. Okay, center of gravity distance of the okay distance of the center of gravity from shaft axis to the particular g value. So and y is the additional deflection. So y value is there, that is the deflection. So when it is going to rotate mode, so then it may also gets the additional deflection. So that may also representing here. And O is the our center of the axis and G is the our CG, center of gravity, will representing that place. Now what is mean by our critical speed or whirling speed? So that means the speed at which the speed at which the shaft runs, so that the additional deflection of the shaft from the axis of the rotation becomes infinite. The additional deflection of the shaft from the axis of the rotation becomes infinite value. It is known as critical speed or whirling speed. So what is the value is there, additional deflection value is there, that is going to be infinite. Okay, they may not calculated easily. So that is known as the critical speed or whirling speed. Okay. So we may also derive the critical speed or whirling speed. So uh, just all of you observe that. So in this, before going to derive the derivation, so let us see the some notations. Those are the m, small m is there, that is representing with the mass of the rotor, and small e represents the initial distance of the center of gravity at the rotor, and y is the additional deflection, and yes, small s is there. Small s will represents the stiffness of the shaft. Small s represents the stiffness of the shaft. So here let us take the assumption, that is the considering, or let us take the assumption of negligible mass of the shaft. Okay, shaft mass is the negligible, and that is carrying the some rotor mass is m. Okay, when it is carrying the rotor, then how to deflect and how to calculate their whirling speed or critical speed. Okay, those are representing here, and that is rotating with the angular velocity of uniform speed. Okay, angular velocity of omega radian per seconds. So now uh, coming to the derivation part. So the shaft is rotating at omega radian per second. The centrifugal force acting radially outwards. So generally the centrifugal force, will happen. The centrifugal force definitely will occur while rotating the our shaft. So then that is outwards through G, causing the shaft to deflect, is given by. So how much of centrifugal force is there? So while the shaft is rotating, so then their value is generally to write the our centrifugal force value m omega square r. but R place is replacing with the value of y plus e. R place is replacing with y plus e. Why? Because they should maintain the some gap, okay, from the axis of the shaft. So how much of gap is there? So initial displacement value is the small e and additional deflection is the y. So that is the our distance. So y plus e will be representing here. Y plus e is the representing here. And now going to know the shaft behaves like a spring. Okay, so that is generally to take that. Therefore, resisting force. So resisting force of the resisting force and their deflection value is the y. So when we write our resisting force value, so that is the our SY. Why? Because actually when we say that is the, so it may also have the some deflection from the center of the axis, our axis of the shaft. So but so that is always try to, okay, that is try to always okay, try to reduce the deflection value. That means equilibrium state, for getting the equilibrium state, which is going to make the particular work. So that is the their stiffness. So that is the our their resisting force. Definitely resisting force is there. Actually we may also okay, getting the our centrifugal force value y plus e, okay, m omega square y plus e, but that is also, okay, resisted with some force. So their resisted force is how much? Sy. That resisted force is Sy. So both are trying to, okay, both are considered as the equal. Okay, so why? Because one is trying to towards away and another one is trying to towards the inside. So equating the both the equations. So that is the m omega square y plus e equals to Sy. M omega square y plus e equals to Sy. So when we simplify the equation, m omega square y plus m omega square e equals to Sy. So then simply to write y into s minus m omega square equals to m omega square e. So then finally to get the y value, so that is the omega square e into s by m, omega square e into s minus m omega square. So actually s minus m omega square. So observe that okay. So y equals to omega square e by s by m minus omega square. So why? Because they may also taken out from the m uh, in the denominator section. So when they are taken out from the m and upside m is there, numerator m is there and denominator m is there. So both are cancellating. So then the remaining term is omega square e into s by m minus omega square. So when we know the y additional deflection value, So then simply to write here and another value, that is the circular frequency. Okay, we know that the circular frequency, that is the omega n value. So omega n is known. So that is the square root of s by m and square root of s by m. So in this, y equals to the value is substituted. Okay, this value is substituted in our equation. So then omega square e by omega n square minus omega square. So omega n square minus omega square. This is the our, okay, additional deflection value. And now all of you observe that a little consideration will show that a little consideration will show that that is omega greater than omega n, omega greater than omega n. So the value of, okay, the value of y will be negative and the shaft deflects is opposite direction as shown in figure b. So now we are going to find the our, okay, positive and negative. So what the value have to attain? So that value is giving to be our plus or minus. Why? Because when the shaft is rotating once clockwise direction and another time the shaft is rotating at the anti-clockwise direction, whatever it may be, they may also represented through the help of our plus or minus. Someone raised their doubt, that is the our, which one is right? Okay, s by m both are okay, both are equal. Okay, here y equals to m omega square e by s by m omega square. That is simplifying that. That is the omega square e by s by m in minus s by m minus omega square. So now later next step, omega square e by omega n square minus omega square. Okay, so when we are substituting the plus or minus, so then omega, okay, so plus or minus omega square e by omega n square minus omega square. So then plus or minus e by this omega square is also send it to the, okay, denominator. So then omega n by omega whole square minus omega square cancel. Okay, one is there. So then the term is minus, okay, that equals to plus or minus e by omega c by omega in omega c by omega square minus 1. Why? Because substituting the omega n equals to omega c. Omega n equals to omega c. Omega c, where we have the omega c. So that is also, okay, will be observed here. That is the critical speed. That is representation with the critical speed. Okay. So omega n equals to omega c, they may also substituted here. So the value of y becomes infinite. The value of y is the becomes infinite. So then therefore critical speed or whirling speed omega c equals to omega n equals to same formula, that is the square root of s by m, and it may also equals to g by square root of g by delta, already known. Okay, and now we have to find out the our n value. Okay, critical speed nc value. So this may also written as 2 omega is replacing with the value of 2 pi n by 60 generally. So but when we take the only, okay, 2 pi nc, that means 2 pi nc equals to, okay, just you have to write the our omega c equals to 2 pi n, okay, without consideration of the 60. Why? Because so 2 pi nc, 2 pi nc equals to square root of g by delta. Nc equals to how much? 1 by 2 pi into square root of g by delta. So that equals to 0.4985 by root delta RPS. root delta RPS. Just all of you observe that. So critical speed or whirling speed formula is also equals to the natural frequency of the our natural frequency of the our longitudinal or transverse vibration formula. So that is the our 0.4985 by root delta. But natural frequency point of view represented with the hedges, and this point of view represented with the RPS. So that is the small difference between the this one to natural frequency. Delta equals to static deflection. And why we are not substituting here, that is the our 60. Why? Because it is not given in our value in our RPMs. So directly to give the directly to take the value in our 2 pi nc 2 pi nc without consideration of 60. So RPS mode is there. And in this, they may said here, the critical or whirling speed is same as the natural frequency of transverse vibration, but its unit will be revolutions per the second. So that is the small difference is there. So generally we are confusing that. So what is the formula for critical speed? So the formula is 0.4985 by root delta. 0.4985 by root delta. So RPS. So that is the small difference is there. And now going to see the problem regarding with the our critical speed. Regarding with the our critical speed. Just all of you read the problem and write the given values. So a shaft 1.5 meter long, supported in a flexible bearings at the ends, carries two wheels, each of the 50 kg. One wheel is situated at the center of the shaft and other at a distance of 375 mm from the center towards left. From the center towards left. The shaft is hollow of the external dia 75 mm and internal dia 40 mm. The density of the shaft material is 7700 kg per meter cube, and its modulus of elasticity is 200 giganewton per meter square. Find the lowest whirling speed of the shaft, taking into account the mass of the shaft. We may also consider the shaft mass. In this place, shaft mass is also considered here. So first we have to write our given values. That is, the length of the shaft is 1.5 meter, and M1 M2 both the wheels are carrying 50 kg weight, and D1 D2 is the 0.075 meter and 0.04 meters, and density rho is the 7700 kg per meter cube, and E is the 200 into 10 power 9 Newton per meter square. Now from the problem description, you have to draw the our free body diagram. So just all of you observe that. Just you have to draw the one line, one beam. So the beam is simply supported. Why? Because they may not mention anything, and it is carrying a UDL load additionally to the point loads. So UDL and point. Why? Because UDL load is there. UDL load is there. And additionally, to take the wheels are carrying our shaft. Wheels are carrying our shaft. So when it is carrying the wheels, where you have to see, where you have to place the wheels. That is at the center of the shaft is one, and at the 0.375 meter from the center to the left side. So that is the distance is also given. So AB is the our shaft ends. That is the A and B are the both ends of the shaft, and C and D are the places to be arranging of our wheels. 1.5. Okay, now when we have to draw the particular diagram 1.5 meters, and now first you have to find out the moment of inertia of the shaft. Okay, moment of inertia of the shaft. Someone raised their doubt, that is a mass of the shaft. Okay, length of the shaft already given, that is the 1.5 meter, and where they have taken the 1 meter. So that is the 1.5 is their shaft length, and mid of the length is the 0.75, and mid of the our, okay, 0.375 from mid to the our left support C is there. So those all are right. Okay, now going to find the, okay, if you are having the any queries, okay, you will ask me directly to ask me. I equals to pi by 64 d1 power 4 minus d2 power 4. Why? Because the shaft is hollow shaft. So that's why d1 power 4 minus d2 power 4 is there. Okay, now later when we substituted the d1 and d2 values in this, just calculate the value, calculate the value when we make the calculation, then simply to get the value, that is the 1.4 into 10 power minus 6 meter power 4. And in this they may also consider the shaft mass. So for getting the, okay, mass of the shaft per meter length. Okay, so for shaft mass, so that is the, how you find out the mass of the shaft. They have to, okay, they have to given only a density value and a, okay, length value and their area is also known. So from that they may also find out the value. So why? Because density relation is there. Okay, density relation, density equals to mass by volume. Do you know that the formula is the, our density equals to m by v? From that they have to write here. So that is the, our mass equals to, okay, volume is also represented with that area into length. Volume is also represented with the area into length. So area into length into density. So from that, mass of the shaft equals to pi by 4 into our d1 power 4, sorry, d square minus d1 square minus d2 square into length is the, oh sorry, here this place is replacing with, oh it is right. Why? Because only per unit length they have to find out the, okay, they have to find out the mass of the shaft per unit length. So that's why they may also consider only one. So 1 into 7700. So just make the calculation. Just make the calculation. So then their value is nearly to come 24.34 kg per meter. It's not total length of, okay, total mass of the shaft. It's the only per meter length shaft mass is the 24.34. 24.34. Okay, so that's why they have to consider the one here. Why they are considering the only one? Why? Because shaft mass, when they are, okay, shaft length is, for example, the shaft length is 5 meters or 10 meters. So generally they said that, okay, generally they said that the mass of the shaft per meter, okay, per meter length. So 5 kg per meter. Okay, that way they are representing here. And now going to find out our static deflection due to the load W. So static deflection value is how much? What is the static deflection for simply supported while carrying the our point loads, while carrying the our point loads? So that value already, that formula is already known, that is the W a square b square by 3EAL. So in this, W is the mg. W is also written as mg, and a square b square means a is the distance from the left support and b is the distance from the right support of the our load, point load. So in this and 3EAL, those already known, those formulas already known. So in this delta 1, now we have to find out the static deflection for point load 1. So that is the m1g into a square b square by 3EAL. So that equals to m1 is the our 50 kg, and g is the our 9.81. G is the 9.81, and A is the for first point load. For first point load, A value is the 0.375, and from the right support the value is the 1.125. Square by 3EI. 3E, Young's modulus 200 into 10 power 9. I is the recently calculated, so that is the 1.4 into 10 power minus 6, and L is the 1.5. So just make the calculation. Make the calculation. Make the calculation. So the value nearly to come 70 into 10 power minus 6 meters. 70 into 10 power minus 6 meters. Similarly, to calculate our delta 2. So delta 2 equals to m2g a square b square by 3EIL. Now substituted those values. So the mass of the point load. So that is also 50 kg. So 50 kgs are substituting in our equation. So then their A and B values are varying here. Why? Because that is concentrated at the mid of the shaft. So that is the A value is also 0.75 and B is also 0.75. Both are same. So now calculate the value. So when we calculate that, the value is nearly to come 123 into 10 power minus 6 meters. 123 into 10 power minus 6 meters. Delta 1 and delta 2. All of you copy the matter. It is very important. Now going to find out the static deflection due to UDL load. So what we have to find in earlier session, so that is the point loads when the simply supported beam carrying the point loads to take the our static deflection values, and our beam is also carrying additionally to the UDL also there. UDL, that means why we are taken as the UDL, that means so some mass of the shaft is also considered, so that is considered as the UDL. So that's why that UDL, when it is carrying the UDL load, so that formula is the 5 by 384 into WL power 4 by EI. 5 by 384 into WL power 4 by EI. So just substituted the values. So W means here, W means, so what we find, what we find in earlier, so that is the our mass of the shaft. Mass of the shaft is there, W equals to mg. So m means 24.34 per meter length. So that is there. Okay, so 24.34 into 9.81 into length of the shaft is the 1.5. WL, okay, 1.5 power 4 by. E is the already known. E means the our Young's modulus and I is the our 1.4 into 10 power minus 6. Okay, when we substituted the values, just make the calculation and get the value. So that is the 56 into 10 power minus 6 meters. 56 into 10 power minus 6 meters. Okay. Now find out the frequency of transverse vibration. First we have to find out the frequency of transverse vibration. So that is the our formula already known. That is the 0.4985 by root of delta 1 plus delta 2 plus delta s by 1.27. Delta s by 1.27. Why? Because when we consider the shaft mass, okay, that static deflection value is the delta s by 1.27. So just substituted all the values in our equation. So then you may also get the value. So now when we find out the our natural frequency, so that is that value has to come in our hedges. And when it is writing as the in our RPS, that value is also equals to our whirling speed. Okay, what the value to achieve in this place? That value is the hedges. But when you write the same value in RPS units, so that is the our whirling speed. Okay, so that value nearly to come 32.4 RPS. 32.4 RPS, and that is also converted in this RPM. So that is the 1944 RPMs. All of you copy the matter. Now raise your queries. Now going to take the next topic. Frequency of the free damped vibrations. So this is the free damped vibration. So in this damped vibrations, or it is also this type of vibration is also here. They may also represent in this viscous damping. Small amendment is there between the earlier to this one. That is the when we have to arranging the damper in our system. In our system. So that type of vibrations is calling as damping. Damped vibrations. Just all of you observe that. Let us take the one spring. So that spring, one end is attached with the one end is fixed and another end is carrying with the some mass. Mass of the body is there, and they may also additionally to have one damper arrangement is also similarly it seems to like cylinder and piston arrangement that may also arranged in our damped vibrations. So just all of you observe the diagram. In this diagram, when the spring will when the spring carries to the our some mass of the body, so then they may also uh, then they may also to achieve the some vibrations by their external load. So then their forces also there, and their uh, displacement, the displacement x is there, the displacement x is there, and in this they have to achieve, okay, accelerating force is there, m into d square x by dt square, and uh, restoring force is there, sx is there, and additionally to have the damping force, that is okay, that is represented with c into dx by dt, c into dx by dt. So that is the our damping force is also there. Now observe the our, okay, so notations are also similar to the in earlier derivations. Those are the x is the displacement of mass and delta is the static deflection, and c symbol is there. C means damping coefficient, or damping force per unit velocity, damping coefficient or damping force per unit velocity. Now when we are arranging the our damper, so what will happen generally? So when it will makes the when the, okay, when the spring will makes the some vibrations, so that vibrations is always trying to reducing by the help of damper usage, isn't it? So if you are already have observed the our diagram, so in that they may also additionally, okay, they may also adding with the our damper. So when we are adding with the damper in our arrangement in our system, so then what will happen? So what are the vibrations are hello, please turn off your mics. Okay, when we are having the damping, okay, damper is there in our arrangement. So then how many vibrations, how many cycles will happen in our arrangement? So those are trying to reduce by the help of damper usage. So that may also happen in this place. And now damping force is the c into dx by dt is there, okay, when we are arranging the our particular, okay, system. So c into dx by dt, and accelerating force m into d square x by dx, d square x by dt square, and spring force r, okay, spring force is there, that spring force is the opposite direction of the mass, motion of the mass, that is the sx is there. So therefore now equating the our forces, so those are the accelerating force towards going to down, and other two forces are trying to towards going up. Why? Because spring force trying to stabilizing the our system, that is towards going to upside, and damping is also making the same, so that is trying to towards dragging the upside, okay, drag the forces to the upside. So that is the c into dx by dt. Those are given with the negative indication, negative sign. So m into d square x by dt square equals to minus c into dx by dt plus sx. So this term is okay, to take the, okay, left side. So then m into d square x by dt square plus c into dx by dt plus x sx equals to 0. And it seems to be d square x by dt square plus c by m into dx by dt plus s by m into x equals to 0. That is the equation. D square x by dt square plus c by m into dx by dt plus s by m x equals to 0. It seems to be second order differential equation, isn't it? So when it is looks to be a second order differential equation, they may also take the one form, that is the for assuming that the observer will assuming that x equals to e power kt, x equals to e power kt. In this, k is the constant. K is constant. So when we write the x equals to e power kt, so from that dx by dt equals to ke power kt, and d square x by dt square equals to, okay, differentiating, okay, d square x by dt square equals to k square into e power kt. Okay, these are to achieve that. When we are assuming the x equals to e power kt for getting the solution. So that is the k square into e power kt plus c by m into k into e power kt plus s by m into e power kt equals to 0. So e power kt, okay, the entire equation will have the e power kt. Just taken out the e power kt to the right side. So that is going to 0. So then the remaining equation is k square k square plus k square plus c by m into k plus s by m equals to 0. Then it is a, okay, x square plus 2x plus c, okay, some numerical value is there. Okay, it is seems to be second order equation. For getting the our constants k, for getting the their attributes and their variables. So k equals to, formula is there, that is the minus b plus or minus square root of b square minus 4ac by 2a formula is there. So for that, k equals to minus c by m plus or minus square root of c by m square, c by m square minus 4 into s by m by 2. So when we simplify the above equation, so minus c by 2m plus or minus square root of c by 2m square minus s by m. Okay, so that is the our k value. That is the our variable value. So they are comparing with the our this one to our above equation. So then the k value will come. Okay, k value, for getting the k value, this is the value to achieve. And now find out the two roots of the equation are. So the k value will have plus or minus, both are there. So for getting k1 and k2 is the k1 is positive and k2 is the negative. So k1 equals to minus c by 2m plus square root of c by 2m square minus s by m, and k2 is the minus c by 2m minus square root of c by 2m whole square minus s by m. So in this, the most general solution for the differential equation 1 is, okay, right side has the equals to 0. So for complementary function, they may also write the for complementary function. For complementary function, x equals to c1 into e power k1t plus c2 into e power k2t. So they may also write the our, okay, for function, complementary function. So that is the x equals to c1 e power k1t plus c2 into e power k2t. In this, c1 and c2 are the arbitrary constants, and k1 and k2 are the real and complex conjugate. Okay, k1 k2 the roots, okay, the roots of k1 and k2 are the real and complex conjugate. So this is the equation to achieve finally. So that is the x means c1 plus e1 power e1 power k e1 power k1t plus e2 into e power k2. Now, so it may also have three cases are there. Those are the over damping, under damping, and critical damping. So when the roots are real, and the roots are real, so then a c by 2m whole square greater than s by m, then the values are, okay, c by 2m whole square greater than s by m, then the roots of k1 and k2 are real but negative. So why? Because what is the equation is there, k equation is there, just substituted their values. That means the which is higher, c by 2m is higher. So when the c by 2m is higher, then their roots k1 and k2 are real but negative values to achieve, just substituted in that. So this type of case is over damping. Over damping means, so the mass moves slowly to equilibrium position. The mass moves slowly to the equilibrium position. And this motion is known as the aperiodic. Motion is known as aperiodic. So therefore, K1, K2 both are coming to the negative value. So here x equals to x value. X equals to C1 plus E1 power K1t plus C2 into E power K2t. So in this, C1 into E power K1 place is replacing with the K1 value. So that is the minus C by 2m plus square root of C by 2m square minus S by m into t plus C2 into E power minus C by 2m minus square root of C by 2m whole square minus S by m into t. But in our actual practice, over-damped vibrations are avoided. Why over-damping means? So simply to say that number of vibrations. Okay, it may also getting the more vibrations. So that may also avoided in our actual practice. And now going to take the second case, that is the our under damping. Under damping means C by 2m less than C by 2m whole square less than S by m, or S by m greater than C by 2m, whatever it may be. So then the radical becomes negative. Then the radical becomes negative. So but the roots of K1 and K2 are known as the complex conjugate. So when S by m is going to take the higher compare with the C by 2m square, so then the values are going to complex conjugate, and this type of vibration, this type of damping is known as under damping. So then when it is going to be then the radical becomes to negative. So then K1 equals to minus C by 2m plus I into, why? Because in our roots they may also achieve negative value. So when we have the negative value, so then that is also replacing with this value, minus C by 2m plus I into square root of S by m minus C by 2m whole square. Now K2 is also similarly to write here. So K2 equals to minus C by 2m minus I into square root of S by m minus C by 2m. Okay, for in this equation. Now we are having the the symbols. C by 2m is also considered as the A, and S by m is considered as the omega n square. So those two are substituted in our in our equation. So that is the our this equation is there, S by m minus C by 2m square. So that means when we substituted in this equation, so that is equals to omega d. So then the omega d is replacing with square root of omega n square minus a square, omega n square minus a square. So these terms are replacing with the values. Maybe the roots have been written here. So that is the K1 equals to minus a plus I omega d, and K2 are written as minus a minus I omega d. Simply to write here. Up to K1, K2 you have to write, and this portion, what is the portion is there, just leave it, because it is going to tough some cases. And finally, to take the under damping place, that is our time period, for getting the time period. So under damping means to reducing our amplitude value, to reducing our vibrations within the less time, reducing that. So that is the periodic time of the vibration Tp equals to 2 pi by omega d. 2 pi by omega d. 2 pi by square root of omega d means recently represented with that square root of S by m minus C by 2m whole square. And it may also written as omega n square minus a square. And when we know the time period of the vibration, so then simply to write here frequency of the damped vibration, that is the our 1 by Tp or omega d by 2p 2 pi. So 1 by 2 pi into square root of omega n square minus a square. So omega n means s by m and a means c by 2m. So that is considered as the equation number 7. I'm going to take the third case, that is the critical damping. Critical damping means what is the values are there, that is the c by 2m square equals to s by m. So then the radical becomes 0. This case is okay, this case is taken as the critical damping. Critical damping. So when both are going to take the equal, so then the equation will come here, that is the x equals to c1 plus c2 into e power minus c by 2mt, that equals to c1 plus c2 into e power minus omega n t. So in this, equating the both the terms, that is the cc, okay, c is replacing here, that is the cc, c place is represented with c suffix c, that is the our, okay, critical damping coefficient cc. Cc by 2m whole square equals to s by m. So that equals to cc equals to 2m into square root of s by m. Square root of s by m is also replacing with omega n, 2m into omega n. So that is the our, okay, relation between the our omega n to cc. Now damping factor or damping ratio, it is also one of the important. Damping factor means it is the ratio of actual damping to the critical damping. Actual damping to the critical damping. So c by cc. So c by cc means already, okay, cc is also replacing with the term, that is the 2m omega n. 2m omega n. So it may also write, it may also written. Okay, now the session is going to end.